Good afternoon. Today I'd like to take some time to talk to you about one of the most controversial topics of our time, that being the legalization of marijuana. Marijuana, also known as cannabis, is a plant that has been used for medicinal and recreational purposes for centuries. Despite the many benefits it can offer, it remains illegal in most parts of the world. But should marijuana be legal? This is a question that has been debated for decades, and today I want to persuade you that the answer is yes. It should be legal. To convince you of this, I will be following the problem-cause-solution pattern. First, I will outline the problem that we face with the current legal status of marijuana. Second, I will explain the root cause of this problem. And finally, I'll present a solution that will not only solve the problem, but benefit society as a whole. Now, before I get started, I'd like to ask you a question. How many people do you know that smoke marijuana? I know that off the top of my head, I can name at least 5 people that I know that smoke marijuana for its medicinal purposes, such as anxiety relief, stress, and joint pain, so many different benefits. Let's begin with the problem. The criminalization of marijuana has had numerous negative consequences on our communities. One of the most significant is a large number of incarcerated people for non-violent drug offenses. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, there were over 6.2 million arrests between 2010 and 2018 alone, most of which were probably racially motivated crimes that targeted people of color. In 8 years, 6.2 million people were arrested for non-violent drug offenses of marijuana. This has led to a disproportionate number of people of color being incarcerated and has devastated communities across the country. Additionally, the illegal status of marijuana has been created a thriving black market, which is controlled by criminal organizations that encourage and engage in violent behavior that exploit our vulnerable people. So what is the cause of this problem? Well, it's a very complex issue, but one of the primary causes is the misconception that marijuana is a dangerous drug with no medicinal value. This misconception has been perpetrated for decades by politicians, the media, and in special interest groups. However, research has shown that marijuana has many medicinal benefits, including pain relief, anxiety reduction, and the treatment of very many neurological disorders. Furthermore, studies have shown that marijuana is less addictive and less harmful than other illegal substances like tobacco. Now, how many times have your parents told you to not smoke marijuana or not engage in recreational drug use? For me, I was heard it my whole entire life growing up, but I never understood what they were really talking about until now, because I see them and they tell me to not smoke marijuana, but then they'll go in for their joint pain, they'll take oxycodone, they'll take fentanyl, and don't even get me started on anesthesiologists. They use this way more addictive drugs while you're on the table than marijuana ever will be. Now that we've identified the problem and its causes, let's talk about the solution. Well, the very simple solution of this problem is that we need to legalize the plant marijuana. Legalizing marijuana will have many benefits for society. First and foremost, it will reduce the number of non-violent drug offenders in our prisons and help reduce the racial disparities in our criminal justice system. Legalization will also generate a significant tax revenue, which can be used to fund education, healthcare, and other vital services. Additionally, legalizing marijuana will also allow for the regulation of industry, which will make it safer for consumers and put an end to the unsafe black market. Now, when I had a friend that told me that he smoked marijuana, he said it was a very expensive hobby to do. And I asked why. He said the taxes on it. He said that he had to pay a 30% tax on it. And doing research today, I found out that the tax money that the people get charged on marijuana, it goes into funding into our public recreation areas, schools, colleges, so many different benefits that the taxes can go into just by purchasing marijuana through these legal ways. I can anticipate that some of you may be thinking, but won't legalizing marijuana increase in drug use? The answer is no, because in fact, studies have shown that marijuana has not increased in states where it has been legalized. Furthermore, the regulation of the industry will make it more difficult for minors to access marijuana, as it will only be sold to those who are over the age of 21. In conclusion, the legalization of marijuana is a change that the world desperately needs. We've identified the problem, the criminalization of marijuana, the root cause, the misconception that it's a dangerous drug, and in many ways, legalizing marijuana will reduce the number of nonviolent drug offenders in our prisons, generate significant tax revenue, and make the industry safer for consumers. So I urge you to support the legalization of marijuana and help bring about a positive change to our world. Thank you for listening to my presentation.